Death Note has a lot of great characters. However, Light Yagami is definitely the best. This is why he is a perfect character. He is the main character of Death Note, and the character we are seeing the most of in depth. It starts off with him being a 17-year-old high school student. He's incredibly smart, confident, charismatic, charming, and just seems like someone who will be very successful. When Light found the Death Note, he showed that he was so good at using it. Right away, he found a way to hide it and make sure that nobody finds out about it. He would take pages and tear pieces of paper from the pages of the Death Note so he could write names even when he does not have the Death Note. And he even set up a trap in his room where he has the handle of his door lowered every time he leaves to know if someone came in his room, because it would be back up if someone was in there. And also, he puts a pencil and a piece of paper on the side of the door that allows him to see if someone came in the room. So he's clearly very well thought out and good at planning, strategizing, but also is very careful. Light Yagami is a very likable character because he pretty much is well-rounded in every single trait. Like I mentioned before, some of the traits, he's very intelligent, he's confident, he's charismatic, charming, but he's also determined, someone who doesn't give up, and a character many will find inspiring. He's a character that feels like an underdog because he's only 17 years old when Death Note starts and a high school student, and so quickly he goes from living the regular life of a high school student to becoming Kira and having to go up against L and the police, also the FBI. Though of course he had Shinigamis and Misa on his side, but if anything, most of the time they were kind of just a problem for him, especially Misa. Ryuk wasn't on his side and a lot of the time wouldn't even do what Light wanted. Rem was Misa's Shinigami and wasn't on Light's side either. And Misa, of course, she was on Light's side, but she wasn't the brightest and actually made a lot more problems for Light than doing good for him. Two great examples I feel like that show how impressive Light is number one, Ray Penber. He was able to walk behind Ray Penber without letting Ray Penber see him, tell Ray Penber exactly what to do, watch him from a distance, while in a subway station and while riding the subway, pretty much setting it up perfectly and taking the life of Ray Penber due to the fact that Ray Penber was the FBI agent that was watching him a week before and for a while had been doing an investigation on Light. I think this moment helps show how intelligent Light really is, but it also showed how determined Light is and how he's somebody who can get things done because he's confident and brave. If many people were in Light's position, they wouldn't go through with a lot of the things he did. I'm not saying the things he did was risky or not set up good. I mean, to some degree they were kind of risky, or many people would fear to do what he does. So the fact that he does these things, it makes him likable, but also he's just so smart. He plans everything out so well. So him being both intelligent and confident works really well together. Also, how he was able to outsmart Naomi Misora. This was even more impressive. Naomi Misora seemed like an incredibly intelligent woman. We didn't get to see much from her, but analyzing her character, it's pretty clear that her IQ wasn't far behind Light's or even else. It was going to be really hard to catch Naomi Misora off guard because she was going to share information with L and the rest of the task force, but Light needed her not to be able to do that, so he needed to kill her. However, he couldn't find out her name, and she even gave him a alias, but Light manipulated her into giving him her name by validating her and not making himself suspicious, even trying to make it out that he was working with the task force at the time he wasn't, to put himself in a authority spot where he could tell her what to do and be more convincing to her. But if she was able to get to the task force without being killed by Light, Light would have been screwed, and he would have been even more screwed by what he was doing to find out her real name. But what he did worked, and he did end up writing down her name and taking her life. I definitely think this is one of the most impressive things Light does during Death Note, and his ability to think so fast and come up with a way to get her name on the spot like that shows his exceptional intelligence. It also helps shows that he's out of the other characters' leagues. Another moment I think that shows how intelligent Light is the chip scene where he hides the device in a bag of chips while being watched by L and his dad from the cameras in his room, and writing equations with one hand for his homework and writing names with the other. The fact that he pulled this off while being watched by L from the cameras, came up with this, it shows that he's someone who is very good at achieving his goals and being successful. But it just shows how incredibly intelligent he is also, because of how innocent while he was doing this he made himself seem, but at the same time he was able to be so productive with the Death Note. I think a reason why Light's the best character is just because of how well-rounded he is, and of course just because of how in-depth his character is. Because obviously his character is more in-depth than the others, but also how well-rounded he is just allows you to like him so much more, because there's not many flaws with his character or many things about him that make you go, oh, I wish he was more like this, or I don't really like this about him. And of course, him just being so impressive the whole time and having everything against him, trying to achieve his goal of becoming the god of the New World. It's just very inspirational. And you see him go through all these tough times, and at times it almost seems like he's gonna be caught. He keeps on making it so far. It's like by the end, you want him to win because he's so determined. He always achieves his goals, and this is his big goal that it feels like he's supposed to achieve. Not only because he's someone who's always successful, but because he's done so good to achieve this final goal of becoming the god of the New World. And it just feels right because of how successful his character always is, and it will just feel like the best ending and the most satisfying. So when he loses, not only are people unsatisfied, but they wish that he had actually won. Though of course, the way he lost wasn't really his fault, and it was also realistically impossible. So in a way, it still feels like Light really did win. And he kind of did win just from how successful and how much influence he had on the world during the time he was Kira, before he was stopped by Nier. Light is a character with a very strong mindset and someone who is well-rounded, never gives up, is just always trying to achieve his goals. So he's definitely the most inspiring character in Death Note. Some people might argue L, but I would definitely have to disagree with this. I would definitely say Light is one of the most inspiring characters in all of anime. He's also a character that doesn't get boring and is very rewatchable, just because of how well-rounded he is, how intelligent he is, and because of so many of his incredible moments and impressive things that he pulled off. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is Light Yagami your favorite Death Note character? Do you agree with me? Why do you like him? And are there any reasons you like him I didn't mention? And I'll see you in the next video.